Hello, beautiful Pisces. Welcome back to Intuitive Energies. My name is Jane, and today I'm going to continue doing readings for you this week out of the cards that came out in your Sunday reading. Now, the card of spiritual growth was the Nine of Swords. These swords cards, they love to come out, and it's not going to be your last one for this week. But as I mentioned on the Sunday reading, they're not all bad things. Now, before I keep going, these are the decks that I'm going to be using today. So I'm putting them in order for you. I'm going to have the healing mantra that's already a couple of cards made a show. So while I was doing the pre-shuffle, I decided to keep them to the side. The Law of Attraction cards, which is going to be under L, that's going to be under H. Terra Mucha is going to be under M. And Super Attractor is going to be under S. And if you click Find a Deck, there's affiliate links, and you can find them alphabetically. So those are the cards that I'm going to be using for the reading this morning. So let's get back to what we were talking about. Today we focus on spiritual growth. So what came out for spiritual growth to work on was the Nine of Swords. I think it's more letting us know what we have been working on. Right after, as I was shuffling this card, this deck, the healing mantra, acknowledging apprehension came out. And what it says behind it is, when it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no. I feel that in the weeks that prior to this one, we have been doing a lot of introspection. And maybe a lot of just going back and forth with ourselves. And the thing is that this is spiritual growth. So I feel what they're trying to say is, Pisces, that we need to see the light in the darkness. In other words, if it's giving us such problems, we really need to clarify it. And having said that, I realize that my candles and my lights are not on. So just hold like that, it is fixed. So noticing the apprehension, noticing the anxiety and the fear over problems, the sitting up at night and making it go round and round in our head, Spirit has been saying that this is a way of letting us know to let it go. Stop trying to rehash it in your brain. Stop trying to make it right when it's not. That was the big message that I got here. If you're still going through this or still doing it, they're telling you it's time for you to let that go. Just let it go. Release it from yourself. It is a clear indication from your own inner self telling you that it's not a fit. This oppressive energy is not a fit with you, and I know sometimes you have stuff that you just can't let go because it's just not a situation that applies. But Spirit is saying that you can try. You can try and release it for now. If there's nothing you can do about it anyway, don't harbor or hold that energy within you, and just put it aside and invest yourself in something better, okay? So acknowledge it and know that it's a definite sign that it's not a fit. And if you can release it, release it. If you can't, put it aside. And this next card that came out really hones in on that too. I can turn a downward spiral upward. And it says, as you focus on the best of what you do have, even if it's only is a small part of your experience, the law of attraction will now bring you more of the essence of that. And so you can replace a downward spiral with a fast-moving upward spiral by simply directing your thoughts more to things you want. Now, for this week, we had the Knight of Swords. So this is what they're trying to, as well, bring forward, is that spiral forward, okay? To make you move a lot faster in the direction of where you want to be. The next card that came out is, when I introduce joy to a situation, I change the vibrational frequency of what's happening around me. Okay, so it's all kind of links in together, okay? Away from this into something better, away from the dark into the light. I didn't notice this in yesterday's reading, but I was talking about the fact that we have to embrace ourselves in the light instead of staying in the dark. There's a lot of double entendre yesterday. It's like double meanings to everything. We shine the light while we stay in the dark. We don't hug our darkness while we stand in the light. There was a lot of that going on. And I noticed that I had taken out, when I decorated this week, I had taken out both my dark and light angels. They're angels, both the same. Just to keep you in that loop of embracing everything that is you. Okay? So you have to embrace even the parts of you that are sitting in the dark. But remember that sitting there is, you can acknowledge it, don't live in it. Okay. So I'm going to get in here, and please, my beautiful guides who are always with me, who help me through these, who give excellent readings every time. Help me give you a beautiful message. A message that will touch you, the deepest parts of your spirit. That will open you up to new ways of thinking, to new ways of opening to yourself, to your journey, to your life. Okay, what are you going to work on your spiritual growth this week? Okay, so you have 2 wands and 1 sword. So you are again being propelled by wind and fire. The King of Swords has come out yesterday and is coming out again today. It is definitely mastering of the mind, of being a mastermind is what I always call this. When I started playing with the King of Swords way back when, I always saw him as my Spock, you know, capable of so much, yet sometimes feeling disconnected from the energy. Again, no surprise, because the Knight of Swords is here, that the King of Swords came out. We had the 6 of Swords yesterday. The King of Swords came out. It all has to do with being inside of your mind. Logically, what you have been taught in life on how to react to things really greatly applies in everything that you do every day. The thing is that the perception of different things. See, when we're taught something as children, we only are taught by usually, I know some of you have different parents who've taught you different ways, but usually there's a very set and very, I had the word, it went, a very set way of learning things in a very specific type of learning. So in one way, okay? As we get older and are able to look around and observe other things, we can pick up on different ways of thinking. But we usually always default to the way we were taught. It's not always easy to break free of that. And it's a better way of doing when you're able to observe and think of a different perspective or different ways of looking at things. More than you know, it can offer you a way out of your problems, give you different doors to be able to open, different choices to choose as you go forward. Again, with the 3 of Wands and the 4 of Wands coming in, the 4 is indicating that fire, this mastermind, even though you're trying to cull him out of feeling that anxiety of the mind, the fire that is being brought forward at this time, because we're slowly getting out of that Aquarian energy, right, as the month goes on. We're not going into fire energy, we're actually going into our own energy, which is awesome. However, I said we have a lot of fire coming in this year for us to propel us forward. And in that Four of Wands, it's bringing in a lot of reflecting on where you are and where you want to go. It's also bringing in a lot of celebration. Please celebrate yourself. Please make sure that you give yourself the kudos for everything that you have brought in. It's also, when I introduce joy, most definitely this applies. So this is what you're working on to bring yourself more joy, more happiness. And of course, you want to continue on your launch. The 3 is launching your long-term plans, putting things in motion. And we're breaking trail this month, so that is important. You have to keep going in that direction. You keep negotiating and trading and cooperating with yourself so that you can keep yourself inspired and get yourself to lead yourself out of these stagnation periods or these insights that sometimes want to or feel like they're crippling us in our energy. So this is the work that you're putting in on this spiritual growth. Nothing small here. A lot of intense work on your part, trying to fuel that fire to get it going. Okay, with the air, you've been trying to fuel it to make it go in the direction that you want. And you can turn a downward spiral upward by acknowledging the apprehension you feel, by dealing with it and then moving forward. Enjoy. So keep working on that, Pisces. You're doing excellent work. So let's see what other energies that you could be looking at for this. The Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, okay, so again, this is a reminder, Pisces, that growth comes from stressful situations, okay? Because what happens is it makes you see the truth to move on. And it makes you want to get out of there, okay? Nobody wants to stay in this type of energy. You don't want to feel the stress. You don't want that stressful situation to remain forever. And it gives you the opportunity to start over and not make the same mistakes again. It gives you the opportunity of going, oh, this didn't feel great. I need to move out of that energy. I need to find a solution. So they're reminding you that every dark cloud has a silver lining. That's the big, big messages. Everything has a silver lining. And everything has a way of propelling you forward to move you along. So along with this, that they're saying, this I really feel that it's like, if it's a yes, it's a yes. If you keep rehashing it in your mind, it's a no. Move along. Try to work through it. Find a solution as quickly as you can, if possible. If not, take a look at what needs to be looked at and then move it along. I feel that's the spiritual growth that you have been going through. The growing pains, if you will, of everything we've been doing. I can turn a downward spiral upward. 42 is the number 6. It's the work between the 3, 6, 9. 9 is like divinity. You've gotten the lesson. You're fantastic. You're spiraling in the right vibration. The 3 and the 6 are the work towards it. You've done a lot of work, Pisces. So this is what Spirit wants you to pay attention to this week. What do they want you to pay attention to, Pisces? What are you supposed to be looking at here? That Ace of Swords came out yesterday, coming out today. Okay, so they want you to pay attention to the breakthroughs that you are making, the victories, by making decisions to help yourself, since we were talking about that yesterday, shining the light on yourself, figuring out things on your own, bringing the victory and that perspection and that clarity to yourself. You're bringing yourself that forward momentum. Okay? We had the Six of Swords, not surprising. I see the Eight of Cups here, and it came out with the High Priestess card. So this inner wisdom, this intuition that you're getting, it's helping you move along. It's helping you on your journey. Beautiful Eight of Cups means that you moved on. You moved on, you saw the truth. As soon as you start moving on, more intuitive hits will come in for you, and it will also remove these blocks. And these are temporary. These are delays that help you rebalance, that help you with this procrastinating energy. Okay? Everything here is leading you out of darkness into the light. Again, you have the Earth, you have the Queen of Pentacles, who has a lot of Earth energy. They're saying that Earth energy is always really helpful in, well, all energies, when you balance them all out with your own. In other words, you have fire and air and earth all mixed in together. You really help yourself master the lessons that you're needing to be learning, because every energy has something really beneficial to bring forward to you. Okay? Because in this way you're going like air and fire, and we know that if air is added to fire, especially the right amount, you can really start a blaze, a forest fire. Okay? And unchecked could be very scary, especially if you have stress going through your mind. However, if you have air and earth, it's a different type of energy. You end up grounding that. Okay, I feel like they're saying the rock that gets hit by the wind is still a rock, who is grounded in their own stability. Okay, so they're saying to bring a lot of that in, that will help you, and it'll bring clarity. So instead of going towards the fire sometimes, it's good to stick maybe back to earth, back to your grounded, back to putting your feet on the ground, and really feeling the connection to the earth. Don't let your mind take over instead of spirituality. We were talking about that last week as well. Your mind isn't your spirituality. Your mind's a tool for spirituality, for intuition. If I know sometimes I say spirituality, but I mean intuition. Like that part of you that knows things that makes no real sense, but guides you out of danger. Sometimes you have a sixth sense that you need to get out of somewhere, and then something happens and you realize that's what it was. So it brings you a lot of clarity to follow that. Okay, and it removes the blocks. If I look at this, going this way removes the blocks. Again, I see two different paths. Okay, so you can concentrate on the journey of just trying to get it moving, or you can look at it in a very different way and just realize that all of this is growth and gives you clarity and helps remove the blocks. Okay, and then we go back to seeing things for what they really are. At the heart of you is really just removing that stressful situation. You want out of it. You just want the heck away from it. Okay? The clarity here is that you want to move out of it. You want to get out of this, and then out of the stress, clarity, out of the stressful situation into movement. Yes. Yeah. And the other part, well, you're staying in the swords. So I would say let the mind, you used as a tool, but don't forget that you need to acknowledge that your mind is causing some of the stress for yourself, and then moving into a different energy. Turn the spiral up, take that wind energy, turn it up, and go back into joy. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to let you go with this. I'm going to come back and do the extended later with Spirit. What you're not seeing under the deck is the Knight of Cups. And I would feel that that's the emotional up and down. The very up and down of these emotions and how it's affecting you. I'll look at that later. I'll talk about that in the extended. I thank you so much for stopping by. I'm sending you lots of love, light, and blessings, Pisces, as always. Take care.